Now, this is a story that goes back thousands of years, a story that's echoed through history, appearing in the folklore of many cultures, each telling a little different, yet all sharing the same basic premise. Deep within the earth lies a giant, a colossal being so massive that our modern technology cannot fathom his size. He is the earth's heartbeat, her breath, the spirit that animates the very ground beneath our feet. And when he stirs, the earth trembles. Now, you might dismiss it as just another fairy tale, a spooky story to scare children. But there's more here, more than simple fright. This story, you see, is much older than that. It speaks to a time when our ancestors didn't understand the mechanics of earthquakes or volcanic eruptions, but watched in awe and terror as the ground shook and fire spewed from the earth. Hidden deep within our planet's crust, there lies a mystery so profound that for centuries it has only existed in myths, whispered stories, and the imagination of storytellers. The giant beneath the earth is one of those ancient tales, an enigmatic legend that hints at forces much older and more powerful than humanity itself. Unlike simple fables designed to amuse children, this tale carries undertones of ancient civilizations, geological wonders, and the fearsome power of Earth itself. The story begins in the distant past, long before modern science explained tectonic plates, seismic activity, and volcanic outbursts. Ancient cultures around the world observed earthquakes and volcanic outbursts, but lacked the tools to understand them. Instead, they attributed these immense forces to spirits, gods, or as in this legend, a giant slumbering beneath their feet. According to one of the earliest surviving versions of the legend passed down by tribal shamans and early priests, the earth itself is the body of a colossal being. Its spine forms the mountains, its ribs the valleys, and its heart the molten core. The giant was said to have been a warrior of divine origin who, after an apocalyptic battle with the forces of chaos, was struck down by the gods and buried alive beneath the land. Unable to die but cursed to eternal sleep, the giant lies still most of the time. When he stirs, even slightly, the earth trembles. Mountains quake, rivers change course, and entire cities fall. When he sighs, it is said to be the hot wind of volcanic eruptions. When he shifts in discomfort, earthquakes ripple across continents. As human understanding advanced, many dismissed the story as a poetic metaphor. However, strange coincidences kept the legend alive. Many ancient civilizations, from the Norse of Scandinavia to the indigenous peoples of the Americas and Asia, had similar stories of titans beneath the ground. Each portrayed these beings as dangerous, but necessary, a force to be respected and appeased. Archaeologists have uncovered ancient carvings depicting humanoid figures emerging from beneath the earth, holding up mountains on their backs or curling around lakes as though cradling them. Some inscriptions speak of offerings made to keep the giant calm, often involving animal sacrifices or even, in darker accounts, human lives. In the late 19th century, as geology and seismology began to develop, researchers revisited the tale. They noted how many ancient settlements were constructed near fault lines locations, prone to earthquakes. Some speculated that the giant might simply be a mythologized explanation for seismic activity, created by people who lacked modern science but observed repeating patterns of destruction. But then came one of the strangest discoveries of the 20th century. In 1947, during an excavation in Central Asia, researchers uncovered an immense structure buried deep underground. It appeared to be natural stone, but shaped in a way that suggested deliberate design, curved like a rib cage, symmetrical, and extending far beyond the reach of their tools. Early geologists dismissed it as a natural anomaly, but whispers among the excavation team linked it to the bones of the giant. This discovery ignited conspiracy theories. Some believed the giant was real, not merely myth. A secret society allegedly formed around the idea that the earth itself was host to ancient life forms that still slumber. Others theorized it was evidence of a forgotten prehistoric civilization that had once created massive constructs, perhaps as a tribute to the legend itself. Today, the giant beneath the earth lives on in books, films, and even scientific debate. Popular culture often depicts it as a monster waiting to awaken, akin to the kaiju of Japanese cinema or the ancient beings of Lovecraftian horror. Its image varies, sometimes a humanoid titan with stone-like skin, sometimes a creature with roots and veins like trees and rivers, symbolizing how deeply it is integrated with the planet. The legend resonates in part because it represents something universal, the sense that humans are small in comparison to the immense forces of nature. Earthquakes, volcanoes, and shifting landscapes remind us that our world is alive in a way we can neither control nor fully comprehend. For scholars of mythology, the giant represents several symbolic concepts. Humanity's relationship with nature, the giant is both a threat and a protector. If left undisturbed, he remains dormant, and the earth provides for life. But anger him, and destruction follows. This duality mirrors our real-world relationship with nature. We depend on it, but we can also suffer from its unpredictable power. The fear of the unknown. Long before humans mapped the earth's interior, we imagined what lay beneath us. In that darkness, people projected fears and wonders. The giant became a metaphor for that vast unknown space underfoot, a place few had ever seen, but which could shake our world at any moment. Cycles of destruction and renewal. In some versions of the myth, the giant does not simply destroy. He reshapes the world. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions destroy cities, yes, but they also create fertile soils, new mountains, and life-giving rivers. The giant, then, symbolizes destruction as a necessary precursor to rebirth. Evidence or imagination? Modern science has never confirmed the existence of anything resembling a sleeping titan in Earth's crust. Instead, geologists understand earthquakes as movements of tectonic plates and volcanoes as vents for molten rock. Yet curiously, the idea of a living Earth, sometimes called Gaia theory, has gained traction in philosophical and ecological circles. Some thinkers imagine Earth itself as a giant organism, not in the literal sense of a sleeping humanoid, but as a living, interconnected system. This has reignited interest in ancient myths like the giant beneath the earth. Perhaps ancient peoples were not describing a literal giant, but instead expressing an intuitive sense of Earth as alive and powerful. And if one looks at the world through that lens, the story becomes more than just fantasy. It becomes an early expression of environmental consciousness. The legend has influenced numerous works of art. Writers have penned novels in which explorers accidentally awaken the giant, unleashing catastrophic events. Filmmakers have turned the giant into a metaphor for climate change, depicting humanity as having disturbed a sleeping force. Musicians and poets use the giant as an image of buried emotion or suppressed memories, emphasizing how what lies hidden often has the power to change everything when it surfaces. Even tourism has adopted the myth. There are giants' rest caves in Europe, sleeping titan mountain ridges in Asia, and Earth's heartbeat seismic tourism spots, all branding themselves around the legend. It has become both an entertaining curiosity and a cautionary tale, reminding us of our fragile place in a world that can change in an instant. Ultimately, whether the giant is real or symbolic hardly matters. The legend endures because it gives narrative to our vulnerability, resilience, and curiosity about the deep mysteries of our world. In that sense, the giant beneath the earth is not just about an ancient being, it is about us and our eternal quest to understand the ground we stand on. If you enjoyed this journey into the depths of our planet's lore, I invite you to explore more content where the boundaries between reality and myth are just as intriguing. Let me know in the comments below what other legends or myths you'd like to see explored in this series. And don't forget to like and share for more captivating tales. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep seeking the extraordinary in the everyday.